What it do, everyone? It's Ty here with Trace Relations. I'm here with my boy Chris.
Yeah. What it
And
do?
today we're going to be starting into a new topic, part one of our Trace Relation talks. And that's going to be outgrowing friendships. This could be outgrowing friendships that you've had since you were 5 years old, if you remember that long. It could be middle school, elementary, it could be high school. It could be friends that you met a couple months ago. There comes a point in time where obviously, you can stay with your friends through thick and thin, but if they aren't willing to mature enough to grow past that next stage, you can't be friends with a child forever. You know what I mean? You can't let those nostalgic childhood memories glaze over the fact that they're still acting the same way they were 10 years ago. So what's your thoughts on it, Chris?
Um, to be honest, I don't know if I've actually outgrew a friendship. Like, there's been people over the years that I've stopped talking to, but I don't know if I have any personal experiences.
Now this could
But
be this could
nonetheless,
be anything
go
from
ahead.
the
My bad.
point.
My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just saying, like, the fact that you don't talk to him anymore might be a case of that, though, because I wouldn't say outgrowing your friends could be a bad thing. You know what I mean? Because at some points, some people are gonna be on different levels. Like
Exactly.
there's gonna be some people who are like, "Hey, I want to shoot for the stars," and if you're not with me, sorry. And then there's gonna be other people who are okay with that fact. You know what I'm saying? They don't need to shoot for the
Yeah.
stars. They're fine being where they're at, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's different ways you can outgrow friendships. I think coming across saying that it could be like they're not mature enough or something like that could be a little misleading, because it could be a thing about maturity, but it could also just be about circumstantial events going on in your life. You know?
That is very true. And like, maybe thinking about it that way. Uh, so I mean, I at work, I work with a lot of teens, so it's like a bunch of high schoolers. And I used to resonate with them. I used to, laugh it up, cut jokes at work with them or whatnot, because we're all just like high schoolers. And then a bit of realization: I'm a college student, and not that it's necessarily much of a big difference, but it's like you can see the difference with, like, even, I mean, we have a bunch of teens, we have some mid 20s, high 20s, and then we have some older people. So it's like you can clearly see a difference in not necessarily behavior, but how they act, you know,
Just their
like,
mannerisms.
yeah, like how they act in front of other people, in front of newer people, in front of people they don't know. It's just kind of like a school. Like, that's pretty much how it goes. But yeah, you can clearly see different levels of well, for sure, maturity. Um, but it's like the ones I used to resonate with when I was in high school. I mean, of course, they were in high school as well. Uh, but now it's like different, seeing it from like a different point of view. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And that's for everyone to key in on a little bit of context. He rose the ranks. You know what I'm saying? He went from an employee to a manager of a manager status. You know what I
Or
mean?
yeah,
So that could resonate with the outgrowing relations or outgrowing his friendships there at work, because it wasn't anything personal. It was simply for the fact being, a you can't mess around the way you used to, especially not around me, because I have a higher position
yeah,
of power now. Because it would make it look bad on your part if you finally get this promotion and you're letting kids act like kids, and you're not treating them to a higher standard. you know and
very true.
that very well might cause issues with your past friends. They'll be like, "Bro, why are you being so rude?" Like, "Oh, you get a promotion, you're acting all different." Like, no, it's not about that. It's just the fact that you can't let our friendship disregard the fact that you still have to respect me as an authority. You know, you can't let that get overshadowed.
I agree.
Now, along with talking about the work environment, this is something that can also resonate with people from say your past high school friends. You know what I'm saying? As
Hmm.
Chris was saying, there were some people, you wouldn't even really say you outgrew your friendship. You just haven't talked to them. But like in the same way, that could still be outgrowing them. You know, there was to a point where in middle school there were people I would talk to every day. I wouldn't think of, oh, there wouldn't be a day I wouldn't talk to them. Now you look
Yeah,
at it and you could go months, years without talking to these people. And of course, there's always going to be love there. You know what I mean? Like they come up, they say what's good. I'm going to say what's good too. There's nothing wrong with what we got going on. It's just the fact that we don't talk. We've
I
we've
agree.
outgrown we've outgrown that point of and I will say too, I think it's mainly like I don't know if it's because of the way I've kind of isolated myself, but I feel like having friends really is a I'm not gonna say a childish thing because it's not childish, but it's something you have more of when you're a kid. You know what I mean? Like when it gets to that point where you're out of high school, you're not seeing the same people that you grew up with. You're not seeing those same people every day.
Exactly.
You're not as heavily inclined to be like, hey, let me go talk to this person. Let me go talk to this person. Let me make this friend. Let me make this friend. You really don't care no more. After high school, after you
Yeah.
graduate, it's college and survival. Maybe in college, if you're that social, outgoing person, you're gonna go party. You're gonna meet these people. That's cool too. But there's not a lot of people that are actually doing that. It's more so there's more people that aren't than people that are, and that's a quick reminder to y'all. If y'all are listening to this out here, and this is also me talking to myself a little bit, but once you hit that age, 18 plus, 19 plus, be sure you get some friends, bro. It don't matter if it's just two people, three people that you hang out with, because you're gonna need people by your side. And it sucks. It sucks when you realize that you've outgrown relationships, outgrown friendships that you've had in the past. But that's why you got to look forward. You got to look for the people that's gonna keep going with you into the future. You know what I mean? There's a
Exactly.
reason. There's a reason why friendships like that don't work out. And like I was saying earlier, there's nothing bad about it. I don't know if y'all believe in God, believe in a higher power, but I personally do, and I personally believe that everything happens for a reason. You're not meant to be friends with the same people for the rest of your life. As sad as that may seem, as much as you don't want to believe it, there's gonna be some times where you're not gonna be able to change the fact that your best friend's gonna be moving across the country. You're not gonna change the fact that they end up going into the military and now they're stationed in Japan. They're stationed all the way across the world. You know what I mean? You can't take for granted the time you have with them, but you also can't force to have more time and force a friendship that isn't gonna be the same as it used to be. I feel like that's a problem that a lot of people have, me included. You look at past friendships as the friendships you've had whenever you first initiated it. You know, you think of the people you see every day now. Even though it's 5 years later, you might not have talked to them in years. You initially look at them and you think of them as the person you met when you first met them. Whether if you were in seventh, eighth grade, that's how you see them. If you were best friends back then, that's how you perceive them. They could be a terrible person 5 years later. They could have done unspeakable things, or they could have created the cure for cancer. Who knows? They could have done whatever in that point of time. But the thing is, you don't know them. You've outgrown that friendship. That boat has sailed, and you just gotta appreciate the time you had with them. You know what I mean? You can't go back and force it because then you there's there we're gonna have another video on this soon. we're gonna listen back on this and talk about it. But another
Mhm.
topic is forced friendships. You don't want to be put in a position where you have to force a friendship. It's gonna create nothing but drama, create nothing but one-sided selfishness, one-sided guilt, and then at the end of the day, y'all might not even be friends because you can't force something no matter how much you want it to. It don't matter if y'all been friends for years prior. If y'all aren't supposed to be friends right now, y'all gotta cut it. Y'all could still catch up. Y'all could still catch up every once in a while. Don't forget that, but don't sit here and try and I don't even know. I'm trying to find an analogy for it because I'm gonna say don't sit here and beat a dead horse, but the horse is more than dead. You know what I mean? You can't save a relationship that isn't worth saving. You know what I mean? So that's what I'll say about that.
That was good.
What do you think? What do you think the main reason is for outgrowing friendships?
Well, I mean, you kind of touched up on it. Like, you know, it could be at any age, really. Uh, just two friends, for example, have maybe different goals, different paths. Kind of like you were saying, it's if one wants to or goes to the military and they're stationed away, and it's like you don't talk, so it happens very little. I mean, there's still that possibility that you could talk to someone for like it could take years for you guys to actually talk. Like y'all could go years without talking, and y'all still have that same click. Like it's as if when you finally talk to them after so many years, it's like it's almost like a feeling that y'all talked just yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And it's very very rare, but there's still a possibility that that happens. But as for the cases that don't, or the 99% that don't fall into that 1%, it's how would I say it? You have different paths in life, and damn, I lost my train of thought. Hold on. What was the question again? I kind of rambled on.
Nah, you're good. You were just saying how there's different paths in life, and I understand that. I feel like that's what it is too. Just opportunities that happen
Yeah,
between
yeah,
two
yeah,
people.
yeah. Exactly. Okay, so you both have different paths, and what the other person chooses to follow, it doesn't really necessarily match up with yours, and you can't. You've always known to give each other information. You've always had each other's backs, but in this, he doesn't understand, or he's not going down the same path as you. So it's like you want to surround yourself with people that are going down that same path with you, and that could be where the connection just discontinues. You know what I'm saying? Once you find the people that want to follow you down your path, or want to follow the same path as you, then you'd necessarily surround yourself with those people because they could give you could help you reach that goal or whatever you're working for. And you'd surround yourself with them and not with your ex friend or however you would call it. And that's where you have different paths, you have different goals. So it's like that could be where you outgrow the friendship. It's like
Hmm.
they're not following the same path as you. Um, you just have different goals. So it's not all necessarily a maturity thing. It very well, as you said, could just be different goals in life. You want to surround yourself with people that have those goals. Um, that way, you're always moving forward.
Yeah, and something that I was kind of catching on about that you were just saying is you might have to outgrow old friendships to pursue new friendships with those that you're like-minded with, like that you're going along with that goal. But I'll take it one step further. Once you've accomplished that goal, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go and find another thing that you're passionate about because we're humans. We're not going to be stuck on the same thing our entire lives. So whenever you go off and find that next thing that you're passionate about, and you find that next group of people that are pushing towards that goal, you're gonna outgrow your past friendship, and then your past and your past and your past. You're gonna keep growing. You're gonna keep evolving. You're gonna keep meeting new people. You're gonna keep getting new friends. Now the thing is, like I said, you can't force those friendships because you're only human. You only have
Exactly.
24 hours in a day. You only have 24 hours in a day. Do not think that you need more than at least 24 friends. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. There's friends that you will hang out with, and then there's people that you're friendly with. There's people you're friendly with. I'm friendly with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? People that I've talked 2 years ago, I'm friendly with them. They cool. But if we're talking about like individual friends, you never want to have too many friends to where you can't even have enough time to distribute amongst, and never feel obligated to distribute your time to your friends. Never. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is, as you go through life and you're making these new friends, don't force these relationships with your past friends, because it's going to get to the point where you're going to be hanging out with your new friends. You're going to be hanging out with your new friends trying to pursue new goals, and your old friends are going to be like, what the hell? What the hell? Like, what about me? What about me? What about me? What about me? And then it gets to a point where you're so worried about making sure that everyone else is all right that you end up swallowing yourself whole in the end. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to have no room to move. You're not going to have no space. You're not going to be able to breathe. And it's all going to be your fault. Sorry to put it like that, but just to be frank, you can never catch up with too many people. It's impossible. If you can line up 30 people in front of me and tell them their first, last name, their birthday, and where they're from, I'll give you $100,000. I don't even got $100,000, but it's
Yeah.
at some point you're gonna slip up. And I don't know about y'all, but I can't really say something with my friend if they don't know my birthday. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
if they don't know my birthday, or if they just don't really know about me. You know what I'm saying? Cause like, you could hang out with anyone. You could be coworkers with somebody, but are you friends with them? Do you know about them? No. So as I said, there's always gonna be times in life where you're gonna have to evolve, meet new people, meet new friends. Don't neglect the old ones, of course, but also realize that you only have so much time on your hands, and sometimes you outgrow friendships, man. You got any last things to say, Chris?
Uh, kind of real quick. Kind of you touched on like people coworkers. Coworkers can be a lot different from friends, and you kind of said something about that, and that's where I would say that a lot of people have or say that they have a bunch of friends, but I feel like it's more of not friends. Yeah, you may have a couple close ones within that big number. I would say most of them would just be connections. That's what I would kind of consider it as. Like you said, if they don't know my birthday, or we don't have a good memory, or a favorite memory, if you will, of just like us two out of the big friend group, then I would say it would be just more of a connection and not a friendship. Like connection, like you know, they'd probably do something for you, but it may be something in return that they want. You know what I'm saying? And whereas a friend, you could ask them for a favor, and it's like without hesitation they do it. That's a friend. A
I agree with
connection
that.
always kind of wants something in return. They know you, but do they know you? Like there's a big difference between that. Um, so kind of like you were saying, choose your friends wisely. Like you'll know once you establish a difference with connection and friends, it's a lot easier to tell who's gonna stick around longer, maybe. Um, and so that's one thing I will say, keep an eye out on is difference between connections and friends, and that's something you can kind of think about after the episode. Just think on it. Give you something to think about till the next episode.
Well, yeah. Well, if y'all enjoyed it, be sure to like it, If y'all have any other topics, convos that y'all want to hear in the future, be sure to leave that down in the comments below. Leave anything you liked or may have disagreed with in the comments as well. You know, we're not perfect. We want to hear yours in voice as well. You know, like if there was something that I said that rubbed you the wrong way, first and foremost, I'm not gonna say sorry. This is an opinionated show. I'll say I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, but I'm not gonna be sorry for what I said. Uh,
And who
but let me
knows?
know
You
in the
could be
comments,
featured
bro.
in the next episode.
Yeah, we're gonna start doing it. Let me know what type of topics y'all want to see. We'll have the next episode out shortly. Y'all stay safe. Love y'all. Peace.